Hi, good morning again, everyone, or good day. Today I'm going to explain the semi-quantitative Benedict's test that we did. So, as before, you're going to put your name and the date, and the topic, your aim, your apparatus, your material. This lab is going to be marked for ORR. So make sure and you go to the skills requirement guidance that I have posted for you before. I think it would be in SB section on your Google Classroom. So again, this lab is going to be marked for ORR. So you have to make sure and follow those skills properly. Okay? All right, so we're going again. Name, date, topic, aim, apparatus, material. Then now for your method, you're going to follow along with this method that it has here posted for you. So for your water bath, so you have everything. Remember, it will be past tense. Your method must be done in past tense. Make sure and put your units. Make sure and put the quantities. Ensure that it is done in point form, past tense with specific quantities. So after you do your method, we go on to results. Right. So you were supposed to make up the concentrations for yourself. However, that did not happen. But you still have to write in this table as if you did do the concentrations for yourself. Okay, so you have to write up this table. This table will go under result, not results, under method, right? So this table will go under method. Right. So for your results section, you have to add in what you had for observations. So the observation, color change, initial and final would be your Benedict's test and the results that you got. So those orange. So you will have to write in what intensity. So what we would expect at the 0 mole, it would be a standard distilled water. There would be no change. It will remain blue. Then you would have 0.2 would be light, and then with light orange, and then the intensity would increase as it goes up to 1 molar. Right, so 1 molar is supposed to be the most intense. Sample X was supposed to be 0.2 molar, right? So it's supposed to look for whatever description you would have for 0.2 molar. So you're going to use the answer for this section here, right? For your precipitate, we have not allowed it to dry as yet in order to weigh our precipitate. So your precipitate section of the lab will be completed on Friday. So on Friday, we're going to weigh our precipitate, and I will give you an updated version of your precipitate on a Jamboard, right? So we would sort out that precipitate part on Friday, right? Now you have to do 2 graphs for this lab. The first one is going to be a picture of your glucose concentration. So if you remember, I had asked you to take a picture and share it with your group members. So that is the picture you're going to add in your lab. So you have to stick that picture in your lab to show the different color concentrations that you would have found. Then you're going to draw a graph for me of the glucose concentration versus the concentration of the mole from table 1. So I'm going to go back to you now and show you what I want and which table it is. So it's from table 1. So if you go back, we're going to find here table 1. So you're going to use this table, the volume of the 1 mole glucose, right? Right. So the volume of the 1 mole glucose concentration, and then you're going to use your concentration molarity, and then you're going to do a graph for me, right? So you're going to have one side, you're going to have the volume of the glucose, and then the next side you're going to have the molarity. So what you're going to have at the bottom going to be your glucose concentration. Don't forget to put your units. Remember, this lab is going to be marked for ORR. And then on this side, you're going to have concentration of, well, concentration, molarity, right? And you're going to plot a graph. Your graph should be a straight line. Don't forget to put a title for your table. Your title, sorry, a title for your graph. Your title must be in capital letters. Okay, that's your first graph. This graph is to be completed in results. Will be completed in results. Right. So that's your first graph. So you have your picture and you have your first graph. And then your second graph is going to be your glucose concentration versus the amount of precipitate. So for that graph, and I'm going to use this section right here to draw that graph. All right. So you're going to have your glucose concentration. And that would have been in moles. And on this side, you're going to put the precipitate. Your precipitate or amount of precipitate. Amount of precipitate in grams. Okay. So just make it fit properly, okay? See if I can get it fit a little bit. Just a little more. Right. So then you're going to plot that. Don't forget to put your title in capital letters. Above your graph. So for your results, you have this table showing your results that you got. You're going to have a picture and you're going to have two graphs. So there are lots of parts of your results section. All right. On Friday, we're going to add on the precipitate that we get. Okay. Next section. So for your discussion, I just want you to briefly tell me what semi-quantitative testing method. So semi-quantitative type of method measuring or testing is basically where you have not exactly measured it out specifically, but you were using that color intensity to determine whether or not it had more or less, right? And then you can tell me what is the glucose molecule and say the function that it has in the body. So just give me a little introduction on semi-quantitative testing and a little bit introduction on your glucose molecule and the functions that it may have in your body, right? Not a lot of information. We want it to be concise but informative. Then I want you to give me your trends and findings. So what did you find as the quantity or the molar quantity increased? What did you find? What happened as you increase your glucose molarity? Did you have more precipitate? Did you have less precipitate? Did you have an intense in color? Did the color not be intense? And then you will also have to tell me which concentration you found sample X to be. All that must be there in trends and findings. And in analysis, explain to me something that you would have done in a method that was important, like using your control. Why did we use a control? Why did we use 0 molar concentration? So you're going to tell me about that. And then you're going to explain to me what is the reaction that you had with the Benedict solution and your glucose. Right? So what reaction took place with your Benedict solution and your glucose to give you a positive test? Right? Then you can also add on a way that you could have improved the lab if necessary, right? Two precautions, two limitations, and then you have your conclusion, which is going to be, give me a brief, as the quantity increased, as the glucose molarity increased, what happened with your color intensity, what happened with your precipitate. And then you tell me again what sample X molarity was. And that will be end of this lab. And remember, this lab is also being marked for ORR. So make sure and examine the handout that I gave you on Google Classroom of your lab criteria and the ORR section. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to message me on WhatsApp or message me on email. You can message me privately on WhatsApp or in front of the whole group. It depends on you. Have a good day and take care. Bye.